Okay, you guys, so I was getting asked a lot recently. Well, not recently, but I get asked a lot. So after you visited 100 countries, like, how has your life changed? How do you feel about the world? Everything like that. And I feel like I kind of like visited 100 countries, and then I was like, yeah, okay, like, let's keep moving on with life. Like, I never really stopped to digress. Like, whoa, like, I visited 100 countries. I've now been to 103 countries, because I didn't count South Korea when I was on my challenge, although I had been to South Korea, and then I had visited recently Macau and the Philippines. So those are the 3 other countries that I had been to, that I didn't go to on my challenge. So I've been to 103 countries, and my life has definitely changed. The way I see the world has definitely changed. Yeah, a lot of things have changed. And a lot of people want to know a lot of different things about how I see, because it's like, I have this broad perspective of the world now. So people want to know from my standpoint how I feel about the world. And of course, people always want to know the bad stuff before the good. That's why this video is titled which ones are my least favorite, because it's more intriguing to people. But I'm definitely going to talk about my favorites as well. So if you're interested, then keep on watching. Okay, so the countries I visited, to break it down in like the fastest way as possible, I went to almost every country in South America and Central America. I went to every single country in Central America. That was so crazy. I bussed through the whole thing. So I started off in Mexico, and then I took a bus down to Belize, bus to Guatemala, bus to El Salvador, a bus to Nicaragua, a bus to Honduras, a bus to Panama. I'm doing this from memory. A bus to, and then I flew. Yeah, and then I flew to Colombia from Panama, right? Yep. So that's what I did. So I bussed all through Central America. And then I did Colombia, I did Ecuador for like I was in Ecuador for less than 24 hours, but I still was there. I did Chile, you guys know. I did Argentina. Oh my gosh, those countries are just so freaking beautiful, like endless beauty. I can't wait to return. I'm returning soon. I did Bolivia, I did Brazil, but barely. I'm returning to Brazil, don't worry. So many Brazilian people were waiting for me to come to Brazil, and then it was like anticlimactic, because I was like, as soon as I got to Brazil, I flew to Portugal, and I stayed in Portugal, and I didn't really stay in Brazil. But don't worry, I'm going back this year. And then, so I did almost every single country. I didn't do Suriname, Guyana, and those 3 countries right there. I'm gonna do that this year. And then I did 7 African countries, and I did all of Europe. I'm so proud to say I've been to every single country in Europe. I wanted to do every single country in at least one continent, and I'm like, yeah, I did every single European country. Every single one of them I went to. Yes, I went to every single one. That is so amazing. Yeah, and I bussed a lot of them. I took bus to bus to bus to bus to bus to bus all around Europe, which was very amazing. If you really want to get to know a country, bus through them, you know, don't fly. So it was amazing. And then I have been traveling Asia for years. I haven't been to every single Asian country, but I've been to almost all of them. All of Southeast Asia, China, obviously I live there. I've been to Russia, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. I've been to Myanmar or Burma. Yeah, never been to Australia, which is crazy. I just haven't been there yet, but I will go soon. So yeah, it's like a breakdown of all the countries I've been to. So here are my least favorites, because me and my sister did Cambodia. We took a bus from, I think, Thailand to Cambodia. I can't remember. You guys can go back and watch the videos. I can't remember at the moment, but it was one of those. Or a bus from Laos. No. Well, we bused in Cambodia. I took an overnight bus. It was like a legit, you had to lay on your back. There wasn't enough room for me and my sister to lay any other way besides on our back. And there were these little slits. So like you got on the bus, right? You had to take your shoes off. They put your shoes in a bag. And then you lay on your back in these, and me and my sister were so hungry and they said you had to throw out your food. We were so pissed, but she ended up eating her food because she's hypoglycemic and like she hadn't eaten all day and like she started shaking, so I made her eat anyways. But we had to sneak food in, and you literally have to lay on your back in these little, oh my gosh, I was so claustrophobic. It's like a little slit in the bus, and like there was all these Cambodian families and then me and my sister. It was so fun. It was so funny. Yeah, and then like there's this little curtain that they put together, they pull across you. I'm gonna try to find the vlog footage. There's this little curtain they pull across and you're just laying on your back. Like, it was so uncomfortable. And after hours and hours and hours, and that bus driver was driving crazy. After hours and hours and hours, this is one of the worst experiences ever. We were so tired. We finally arrived in Cambodia, and then we stopped at immigration, and it was so confusing because they just stopped the bus and then everybody got off the bus, right? And me and my sister were so confused and we're like, what's going on? Nobody was answering us, just because they weren't being racist. Everybody thinks the whole world is racist. It's not. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I know a lot of people are gonna be thinking that I'm gonna bring up some racist situations. I've never experienced racism outside of America. So nobody was answering us. We were like, what is going on? What's happening? And they just started throwing everybody's luggage off the bus. So me and my sister were just like, what's happening? Like, and they threw our luggage into a big pile of mud. Now they didn't do that on purpose, but the area we were in was just mud. Like mud, mud, mud. Cambodia is a very poor country, so I think that's why it was mud. Like, there wasn't any official roads. There was only mud, you know, and dirt. And it was raining, so I guess the dirt turned into mud. They threw everybody's luggage off the bus into a mud pile. And so we were just like, what's happening? Are we in Cambodia? What's going on? And then somebody saw us looking distressed, so they kind of came over to us and tried to help us as best as they could. And they were like, get your luggage and go through immigration. And we were like, oh my goodness, thank you. Where is immigration? Because there was a lot going on. We had no idea where immigration was. They were like, it's over there, you have to go through there, then you have to do that, and then you have to go back here, and then you have to do that, and then you have to get the paper, and then you have to sign the paper, and then you have to walk like about a mile. After you walk the mile, you're gonna have to cross through and then go through immigration again, and then the bus is gonna pull around and you have to get back on the bus, and then the bus will take you all the way through. There's still like 2 hours more to the bus ride. And me and my sister were like, what? So we just tried our best to look for other tourists. We saw some like white people, so we were like, wait. So we went up to like the white people because we obviously knew that they were foreigners as well. So we were like, what's happening? And the white couple kind of helped me and my sister, and they're like, you have to get, it was so confusing. They're like, you have to get a paper here, then you have to fill it out. Then you have to come here and then go through immigration here, and then you have to go through a security check on the other side of town. You have to walk there. Everything you had to walk to. And then you had to walk back and then give the security check papers back to these people, and then you have to walk about a mile to actually pass. Like, when I tell you, me and my sister's head was, and I was so stressed out, and everybody was just kind of really rude, and but not in a racist way. Everybody was they're just kind of doing their own thing, you know what I'm saying? So they're not really worried about you at all. They're not trying to help you, anything. Everybody was just kind of doing their own thing. You can see over there with that pointy yellow, that's Cambodia, and this side is Thailand. We were tired, and we didn't really get to sleep on the bus because the bus is so uncomfortable, and we're just trying to figure out like how to get through immigration, and nobody was helping us. We're covered in mud, like covered in mud. Our suitcases are covered in mud, and it was so confusing. So many animals here. So many cool animals. So many cool animals. I'm loving it here. After my horrible experience in Cambodia. Horrible experience in Cambodia. I just got out of the shower, so that's why I'm all. You guys know me. Laos is lit. It took us about 2 hours. Like I said, I was freaking out, worried about my sister, because at the time she had bad hypoglycemia. So if she hadn't eaten that much, her body would literally start seizing and shut down. It happened about 3 times with me there with her, and so I was always worried about my sister. And I'm like, she had to carry her heavy luggage, and she was running off of like no food. So I kept looking, worried about my sister if she was gonna be okay. And her whole body was just kind of like convulsing because we were both carrying our luggage too, and it was hot, and then we couldn't find anything to eat. And every time we tried to buy something, they would say, we don't accept Cambodian money. And all we had was Cambodian money because we converted all our money to Cambodian. They're like, we only accept US dollars. They refused to take Cambodian money in Cambodia from us because they wanted US dollars because it's worth more and they can upcharge you. So we were getting so annoyed. Everywhere we went, they were like, we don't accept Cambodian money. I was trying so hard. My sister, I was afraid she was gonna have like a hypoglycemic breakdown. So I'm trying to find like cookies for her, or like a popsicle or anything. Like, have you guys ever seen Mall Cop, like how he has to get like some sugar, you know? My sister, she doesn't have the problem anymore, but she used to. And so I'm like rushing around because I think my sister, she looks like she's about to like pass out, you know? And I'm rushing around. I'm like, does anybody have like a popsicle? Does anybody have a lollipop? Does anybody have a blah, 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 blah? My sister's about to have something breakdown, and can I buy this? And they were all like, do you have US money? I'm like, no, all I have is Cambodian money. I can't use Cambodian money in Cambodia? They're like, no. I'm like, oh, my light just went off. Oh, that's okay. We're gonna roll with this. I'm like, I can't use Cambodian money in Cambodia? They're like, no, we don't accept it. So I was freaking out. I had to end up taking my sister's luggage because she was walking around like a zombie, like about to pass out. I was just like, oh my goodness. I was holding both of our luggage. I'm dripping in sweat. We're still trying to find the immigration office. Like, nothing's making sense. We had to walk like 2 miles. There's dirt being, like, since there was so much mud everywhere, mud was just getting splashed on us like constantly. So we're covered in mud. We finally find the immigration office we're supposed to go to. We have to walk there, then we have to walk all the way back, and then we have to walk there again. And we finally go through immigration, and guess what? The bus left us. The bus didn't even check to see if we were on it, anything like that. Anyways, we ended up getting another bus. Accidentally, I left my handbag on the bus because they told me I could, but I totally got robbed. Everything out of my handbag was, we were in Phnom Penh, is that what it's called? We weren't having a good experience. So, and we found that that was one of the countries where as soon as they figure out you're American, everybody is trying to get money from you. So like every single situation, people were trying to like rob us, or either we were going to go to the island the next day, like take a boat to one of the Cambodian islands, but we just decided, you know what, it's okay, we just want to get out of here, we just want to leave, it's okay, you know. Something I will say about Cambodia is that oh my gosh, and I saw about 3 fights when I was in Cambodia, because there's a good amount of she-males in Cambodia, so I think they're men dressed up like women. And there was a white man staying at my hotel, and so he was walking down the street, and so he kept saying that all the she-males kept coming up to him and saying, like trying to get, you know, to sleep with him for money. And he kept saying, like, he said one of the she-males, like, I don't do she-males or whatever. And then so the she-male got her brothers or whatever, or friends, or I don't know, to come beat this white man up. So when I was in Cambodia, I saw like 3 white men getting beat up to a pulp by the Cambodian boys. So me and my sister were just like, oh my gosh. And I saw a Cambodian woman, and she was telling me, like, at nighttime, don't go outside here in Phnom Penh, it's very dangerous. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, it's very dangerous. Like, if you look at somebody the wrong way or whatever, you'll get beat up. So, and I saw 3 men getting beat up while I was there. So I'm just like, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave, you know. And I'm not saying anything bad about Cambodian people. I do not think it's a bad country. I do not think that anything. This is just my experience. I'm talking about bad experiences. I'm not talking about bad countries. I'm talking about bad experiences. So that's just to clarify. So yeah, Cambodia is a country that I don't really know if I'm ever going to go back to. I had a very bad experience. I did not like it. I did see in Siem Reap, the, what's it called, like the pyramid shaped figurine things. I saw it. Yeah, I just wasn't that phased. I did not like it that much. I know some people went to Cambodia and had beautiful experiences and absolutely loved it. That's great for them. I didn't have that good of an experience. I don't know if I'm up to give it another try. I don't know if I'm interested. There's just other places I'd rather go. There was another country I did not like so much, and it was the Ukraine. I don't even know if I want to get into the whole situation. Here's what I'm gonna say. I know a lot of Ukrainian people from being in China. In China, there's a ton of Ukrainian and Russian immigrants. Is that what you call them? Expats? I don't know. So I have a ton of acquaintances that are Ukrainian. If you guys watch some of my old videos, actually, where I went on field trips with my school in China, when I went to school in China, we'd go on a lot of field trips. You'd see my Ukrainian friends in there. Yeah, I've definitely had them in vlogs. And they would even tell me that Ukraine is going through something right now as a country, and a lot of Ukrainian people are leaving for that reason, you know. So I was asking, I was like, why are there so many Ukrainian people in China? Or and they were telling me Ukraine is going through something right now. It's not that, you know, it's going through stuff. So basically, I saw what they meant when I went there. That's what I'll say. I went through so many different parts of Ukraine. It was hard for me to leave. I remember I was on the phone with my mom crying, and she was yelling at me for being in the situation. But I'm just like, whatever. I couldn't figure out how to get out of Ukraine. I really couldn't figure out how to get out. There were some ways that I wanted to get out, and people were telling me, don't go that way. It's very dangerous. So it was like a jigsaw puzzle, or like a maze trying to get out of. And that's when I was like, yo, MJ, you're so smart. when I finally got out of the Ukraine, because I kind of figured out a way to get out. I started out in Lviv, I think, right? And then my brother and I took a bus to Kiev. Or was it the other way around? And then we took a bus to Chernobyl. And then we took a bus to another part of, I forget. So I've been all through the Ukraine, remembering it, but okay. And there's one more country I wouldn't go back to. I'm just gonna briefly explain it because I have a whole entire video about it. Kenya. No! I am going back to Kenya. I didn't mean to say that. I have dreamed of going to the Masai Mara safari, you know, like, and going to the giraffe manor, and I will 100% go back. What happened was, my friend Helena that I was with in Bali, I think we might go there together actually. Yeah, I didn't mean to say I'm not going back to Kenya. I don't know if I'll go back to the Ukraine. I don't think I will, you know. And I don't think I'll go back to Cambodia. I'm just not interested, you know. There's other places I'd rather go. But I will go back to Kenya, but I did have a bad experience. I made a video. I just said that it was a bad idea for me to go by myself. I remember I was at the airport in Kenya, and I just had landed. And I look all flustered. I'm carrying my luggage, and I'm just like tired, you know. I was on my own there. My brother had just left me, so I'm just like, it's so hard carrying because my brother used to carry my luggage, both of my brothers. So I was like kind of just really tired, and I'm looking for snacks in this small store, and there's just a lady behind the counter just watching me. Like this, real creepy, like, and she's just looking at me, and then I finally go up to pay, and she's watching me, and she goes, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "America." She's like, "Yeah, it's very easy to tell you're from America." I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "Are you here by yourself?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "No, baby, no." And I'm like, "I am. Why are you saying no like that? Why are you saying no, baby, like that?" She's like, "Be careful, please." She said, "Does your mother know that you're here by yourself?" I said, "Well, I'm an adult, but she technically does know, yes." And she's like, "Does anybody know where you're staying, which hotel, everything?" I was like, "Not really, but they know I'm here." And she's just like, and I'm like, "Well, ma'am, I'm actually a traveler. I travel by myself." And she's like, "I don't care." She's like, "It's not smart to be here by yourself. Be careful." And I'm like, thank you. There's signs all over the airport saying, "We have Uber, we have Uber." There's signs everywhere like Uber, 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 Uber. So I'm like, I bought an SD card for my phone. Oh, and the guy who gave me my SD card was so sweet. He was a young man. He was around my age, and he told me the same thing. He was like, "Where are your friends?" I'm like, "I'm here by myself." He's like, "Not smart, not smart." I'm like, why does everybody keep saying that? I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And they're like, well, he was like, "These Kenyan people can tell you're not Kenyan. On top of that, they can tell you're probably American. And they know you probably have money, or they assume you do. Or, you know, and they can tell you're by yourself. So the men here can be quite aggressive. Be careful." And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I was buying a SIM card for my phone. So I bought the SIM card for my phone, and then I downloaded Uber so that I can get an Uber. So it can be like more official than just grabbing somebody to take me. And so there were so many grown men up in my face, just like I can deal with a lot of different situations, but one thing I do not tolerate is people harassing me. There was probably about 20 men in my face at once, grabbing me, trying to grab my luggage to put it in their car, you know, so they could be my driver. There were so many people up in my face. I was like I'm like, MJ, calm down. Nothing I did would make for money. And when I had to get a shot when I was in Kenya, I had to get for yellow fever so that I don't get yellow fever. And a woman gave me the shot, and she was being so creepy. Like, she was in my face, and she kept saying, like, it was very hard for me to understand the Kenyan accent. Like in Kenya, they speak English as well, but their accent is so thick that I was having trouble understanding them. So every 2 seconds I kept asking the girl who was giving me the shot, like, I'm sorry, could you repeat what you're saying? I don't understand. And even though she was speaking English, but you know, the accent I couldn't understand. And I asked her like 50 times to repeat what she's saying, and then she goes, money, do you understand that? And I'm like, where is the money? Where's your money? And I said, I paid for the shot. The shot I paid for to the officials out there. You're just the girl administering the shot. What are you talking about money? And she's like, where's my tip? And I'm like, you don't tip somebody who gives you a shot? She was like, so you don't want to give me money, is that what you're saying? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to give you money. It'd be different if she were kind or something like that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I did have a lot of American cash on me, US dollars on me, and she saw them. She kept looking at it, and then this woman was old enough to be my mother. She was either 40 or 50 years old. She gonna stand near the door and stand like this and be like, so are you giving me money or are you not giving me money? I'm like, and her English got really clear after that point. I'm like, oh my gosh. And when I was riding in the back of the Uber on the way to my hotel, literally families were like knocking on, like families, or like a woman with kids were like on both sides of the car, like pushing the car on each side, like looking at me because they could tell I was a tourist. I was just getting so fed up. I was just like, no, I'm heading to Tanzania. And Tanzania ended up being one of my favorite countries. Tanzania is one of my top 10 favorite countries. I love Tanzania. I had an amazing experience in Tanzania. I can't wait to go back to Tanzania. So I'm not mad about the fact that I left Kenya early. I was so afraid. I had everybody in my family so worried, because I never worry in my family because I'm always like, oh, I'm fine. So that when I said I was scared, they knew something had to be bad, because I never ever say I'm scared or that I'm worried that something might happen. Some other situations happened where some men were knocking on my door. They stalked me back to my hotel and they were knocking on my door. I told you guys that in the video, but experience when I went. I will 100% go back and give Kenya another try. But I'm not going to go back and give Cambodia or Ukraine another try. I'm not interested. But there was only 3 countries that I had bad experiences in out of 103, which is amazing. I'm going to do a part 2 of this video of my favorite countries. And that video, I have no idea how long that's going to be, because I have so many favorite countries and so many beautiful experiences I want to tell you guys about in more detail. So I can't wait to do that video. But this video was just touching on the countries that I just did not have that good of an experience at, because I know people like to hear the bad before they like to hear the good. You know what I mean? But that's all I have to talk about in this video. I hope you guys liked it. I don't know, but maybe you didn't. I don't know if this is like a likable video, but yeah, I have to run errands, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.